this morning. Tactical timeouts can be issued by each team once per map.
Yeah.
And, throughout, whichever side they're playing on, even in overtime, they only have access to one overtime call that can be called by either the players or by the coach. And it's a total of 60 seconds, so 1 minute, and you can use that to your advantage to reset. However, your opponents can use that time as well to talk in between them.
Yeah, it works both ways. You just only get to choose when it happens once. So definitely something that we see. I feel like some teams lean on it a lot more than others, but usually you're going to see it called when they're losing more often than when they're winning, as a way to sort of kind of pause, take a breath, reset yourself. But 3-0. Not good.
Now, seeing this is the change that I've been wanting. Just stop playing from CCTV, focus on the fountain. No reason to play a bit of an older way of playing. What Element Mystic had playing against them before is that they had way too many players outside of the site, and then Millenium would just walk in and get a plant after a couple kills. Well, here it's got to be a lot more complicated because you have the office, you have the fountain, and then you have the archives. It's a multi-layered defense, and that's the way it's supposed to be played.
And speaking of changes as well, they decided to switch out one of the Italian operators for the Valkyrie cameras, as you mentioned earlier. So the holograms, while they were useful, they started getting shut down, and they saw the pick of Twitch, decided it wasn't worth it. Of course, sneakily enough, Ratio 6 picked off that, but it was to another operator that was going to help shut down those holograms, although only temporarily. And speaking of which, for those of you who have been following the dev blogs, there is some more changes coming to Thatcher. That means he will also be doing more temporary disables rather than permanent ones. Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I from what I'm hearing, it's like people don't like global abilities, so I don't know. Don't Livin taking damage here early. Oh, and whoop!
Whoa!
Hey, Taylor, what's up?
Spotted.
Livin just coming in and taking Taylor down, so they know that at least they won't have to worry about any players up the hatch in the office. And now Oni-chan will run around. They're literally playing Ring Around the Rosie here in the server room as Hicks is watching the rotation. Oni-chan sets himself up right by the server, and he's gonna get droned out sooner or later.
Obviously, the server hold important to them here, considering they lost one player, so they rotated over to it. Oni-chan's been playing fairly effectively, though, so I guess, unfortunately, NV Taylor, while he died early, at least they have some coverage. They're still, unfortunately, right behind him. Rise finds it.
Millenium just absolutely demolishing Element Mystic here, finding every single rotation, and it seems like Element Mystic are still playing more of an individual game outside of the site, and that does not work against Millenium. You need to isolate Millennium's players, and unfortunately the reverse is happening right now as the French squad is having no problems whatsoever droning in and isolating individual players from our Korean squad of Element Mystic, just shutting them down. The Thermite will open up the armory wall as, there we go, they hit the Maestro, but no, it's Hedy to get one. Falco hitting actually Nelio in the back, but Hedy is still low on health.
Well, they've got a lot of control here to push in now because they've got all the utility, they've got the wall open, and there's only 2 players left, one of them already low on health. So this is going to be probably a fairly easy push for a 4v2.
Rise ready, he peers in as Hedy finally going down and getting the kill on Hicks for it. Now making it a bit easier for Sweet Black as Falco is low on health as well, with Livin on half health. Schmott being thrown in as the site is completely left open here. Sweet Black opting to rotate in from the main hallway. And this might, oh my god, what was that? Livin will go down as Sweet Black here, but all the information is now relayed to Millenium. Unfortunately, the armored lockers are not where you're supposed to look. Sweet Black just holding an angle, and really against Falco here, it's not going to work out. The SMG-11 peers in, and that's the headshot. Sweet Black going down, and Element Mystic, huge opportunity wasted there. 4-0 for Millenium, and I wonder if we're going to go back to armored lockers.
I don't know, but I got to commend...
Yes, we will.
I got to commend Millenium, though, on their drone work. You're seeing it time and time again on the actual spectator, how often those drones are just feeding information, feeding it. Seems like every time they get slowed down, they're not getting slowed down because they're not sure what to do. They're getting slowed down because they're just drone swarming everyone left.
Speaking of feeding, you know what the definition of madness is, Devin?
Getting droned over and over and expecting something different and not playing with something like mute, perhaps.
I was going for something a bit simpler, but yes.
The elaborated version.
The more technical version, yes. Doing something over and over again in the same exact way and expecting things to change. Now, I'll give this to Element Mystic, is that they did change from holding in CCTV to holding in Fountain. But it was all circumvented.
Yeah. Maybe because, I don't know, the drone saw that?
Yes, that's a very astute point, Devin.
You're welcome. Well, either way, 4-0 up. This is looking like a short map. Now, this is one that they had won, Element Mystic being the winner of it last time against Immortals, which is, that was a pretty good win. But this just seems like everything they're doing is being completely read into. But it's not just, I wouldn't say it's just counter-stratting where they're like, oh, they saw them play it yesterday, they know how they play it. The drone work is really what's doing it. The fact that they're able to really identify every single position they're playing in, so there's no element of surprise from EM. They are definitely just, I don't know, I mean, they have some good drone play sometimes when they're playing around. Towards the end of the round, they're playing a little bit better when the drones are not alive. When they've managed to take a few Millennium players off, and the Millennium players, yeah, they can watch drones that are still left alive, but they don't have as many people to throw drones out. I feel like Element Mystic are able to do a lot better because they're able to move more freely, they're not getting identified, they're not getting pitched out. But when it's the beginning of the round, they're just getting spotted left and right. They need to do something about it. Maybe they need to mute. Maybe they need to just, I don't know, shoot the dang drones every time they come in and actually watch the entryways for drones. But
speaking of which, Nelio actually nabs one there.
Yeah.
So that's one drone out of play. So the setup with the alibi in the middle of the fountain. At this point, it should be very easy to tell. Renshiro should be able to take it out here, but they have to worry about a Sweet Black early on, and he's playing in the office close to the wall on the alibi.
Well, it seems like most of the time, Millennium very confident on this office take. Now, they did focus on the locker side last round, but it seems like this is their primary take for the site, at least against these guys, finding a lot of weaknesses in it, and that Twitch drone is being played again this time, but only gets a little bit of utility. Still has one in his pocket, though.
It's a big kill, actually, on that ADS. It'll force the alibi back, because if you don't, you're gonna get grenaded, and you know what? Renshiro doesn't even care. He doesn't even need a grenade.
No,
he gets the kill and the pistol. There you go, easy shot. Now the Guma is gonna get detected by Livin, as he does not neglect his IQ play. Very technical part of
second time Rise has done that. Just sneaks on in.
Well, they're spotting the Jaeger, unfortunately. Oh, Livin is somehow, Rise is somehow still alive because of this. And he might be able to pick himself back up. This might actually work to the side of Millennium. And there you go. He does survive the ordeal.
Wow.
Rise uses his Polish genetics to get himself back up on the Zofia.
Well, that's definitely going to help. I mean, he's only got 5 HP, but I feel like that's plenty for him. He's definitely going to make it work on this push. Now he's a nice flank that they can have because he's playing downstairs with Livin.
It's very odd how this actually works out very well for Millennium.
Thanks.
Alright, well, Renshiro just peering in through the main hallway from the east stairs, not going to find anything. Oh, Falco getting run out here by Envy Taylor, finally finding the spot as Nelio will spray, and he goes in for the second kill. Renshiro going down, but the Zofia comes up. So down Nelio in the back. His own Ichan goes in with a spray, the MP5 getting the kill. It's all up to Livin. Really will have to get into zone here, but unfortunately for him, Element Mystic will at least get one round at the end. And oddly enough, it worked because Millennium didn't do what they were doing before.
Yeah. It got really chaotic, especially where the office wall was. I mean, I liked the interesting ideas of the way they were using the lower part with the X-Kairos to open things up in the multiple angles, but they just couldn't seem to find that Jaeger, for example, to fight him out working in that corner. And those missed shots definitely did not help. I think they lost a lot of control by losing that fight. And then, of course, when Rise comes in, he's only got 5 HP, did get 1 kill, but he's not going to win too many fights with that low of health. I mean, it just takes 1 bullet. And some great plays by Nelio that round, though, helping clutch it up. But that was, again, a rough round. And now they're going to have to switch sides. So we'll see. Livin keeping it interesting with a Capcan 6th pick. They were going to go to customs, but they have switched over to vents. So this should be interesting. See if it matters. We have had some Frost plays as well in these matches, but not a Capcan yet as far as I've seen.
There was a Capcan in a previous game, actually. NIP pulled it out on Consulate.
That's fun.
So it unfortunately doesn't really work out. Capcan, as great of an op as he is, in terms of, oh, he's got the 9x19. It's
Yeah.
very easy to control. It's very easy to hit headshots with it. He's got the PMM, literally a pocket sniper rifle. EDDs are great, but the instant they're spotted, you kind of lose a lot of the
10 seconds left.
pizzazz, I guess,
Yeah.
that they have. So you got to be very careful where you set them up. Are you going to set them up mostly outside of a site to support your roamers? Are you going to just put them on random positions where you can use it as a quote-unquote goo mine? Who knows?
Yeah.
It's you know, the biggest I think the only operator that can really compare Captain to is Legion. It's just you get all of your quote-unquote mines early on in the round, like literally at the spawn.
Yeah. And unfortunately, unlike Legion, his traps are not visible, although they are a lot less visible once that laser got taken away. We'll see, though. I feel like a lot of times we can't see how useful Capcan is, but in this case, Oni-chan getting taken down early. Not great here as their entry frag already losing one of them. I mean, it's not a huge loss because usually, you know, I hate to say this, but the ashes are expendable generally. But given how they've played so far, that's not a great start.
And the thing is, it only does damage to Renshiro here. Hex taking a bit of damage. Now, Livin is playing with impact grenades, not the C4 on the Capcan. That's an interesting part. So they're going to use them to rotate back onto the site if need be. He can use that to, you know, open up holes to shoot from above, just in case he wants to deny a plant. And Hicks is just going to be sitting in the bathroom. He's got the ACOG to use here to his advantage to peer into the passport check.
Using it right on the little pixel peak as well. But he's also got some coverage here on the other side of the passport from Falco. So that should be a lot of Element Mystic potentially walking into a lot of traps even outside of Capcan. So it's really going to come down to, again, and I hate to beat this dead horse, but the drone game needs to be tip-top here for Element Mystic to even compete with what we saw from Millenium.
It's very important. How many times have we mentioned that one of the most important, if not most important parts of Siege is not just your aim, it's information game. And there you go, Rise gets all the info that is needed. He gets a kill, but Hetty will refrag on a Falco. Renshiro still alive on the castle. He finds the kill, but Rise, no info, just runs on. Oh my god,
Wow.
Renshiro! He finds the headshot on MV Taylor. Just any up, he'll one-tap you down to death. That's a 3v1. Sweet Black alive in the customs inspection. So now he moves in through the beepers, makes himself known. And Millenium can anticipate his rotation, so Livin is already in the back of the site. The diffuser is right on the doorway. And Sweet Black is opting for the frag game. He'll get one onto Hicks, but at what cost? So much HP, so little of it left. Moving back through the customs inspection, he realizes he needs to pick up the diffuser. The instant he moves in here, Renshiro should be able to take him out. And there you go. Easy kill for
taps.
the Mountain himself, Devin. What a player.
Yep, so far, just the sheer power of Renshiro and Livin most of the time in these matches. Rise as well has been a force to be reckoned with. Millenium seem to be playing kind of at the top of their game, like playing the way that they want to be playing, and it's working. Whereas Element Mystic seem to, outside of some of those plays in those first rounds, has just not been, I think, what we would expect for them. So we're going to get a tactical timeout from Millenium, who are, well, 1 point away from taking this map.
Yeah, they're like, hey, you know what? We'll give you a tac timeout. You can talk. In the
It's a generous one for the other team.
All right, Capel, in the meantime, talking to his players, first making sure that the entire squad is focused and ready for the next site, which I believe Millenium will go to Armory Lockers and play at the Archive as well. Very interesting to see how they play this one here with, again, no Echo available, no Mira as well. But yeah, I was a bit afraid that maybe without the Mira, we won't see Renshiro performing at the top level. But it seems like it doesn't matter what.
Yeah, he's playing those pixels peaks. He's making those taps. That Blackbeard experience, I think, definitely pays off. I mean, you could say it's either, you know, chicken and the egg. Maybe he played Blackbeard because he's so good at that, or maybe by playing Blackbeard he really refined playing those kind of pixel angles, those peaks, those one taps. Because it's all a reflex game, right? When you're playing Blackbeard, you need to have very strong reflexes. Otherwise, you're just missing half your shots as they run across because you're holding an angle.
You know what they say? You miss you miss the shots you never take.
That was close enough.
Something like that.
But speaking of shots here, Apex shot dwindling away the way things are going here because, well, the next map is the map that Element Mystic lost last time and was Millenium's pick. So Element Mystic potentially losing here on their map pick is a very dire circumstance for them to be in, unless they've learned a lot from their play yesterday. Again, we're seeing the score-wise pretty even from Element Mystic. I think, as I said earlier, all the players on the team contribute fairly effectively. Unfortunately, that's not contributing to, you know, 1 rounds at this point.
And that's all that it'll take here for Millenium. If they take this round, it's a 6-1 victory, and that's map 1 in the hands of the French team.
As I like to say, done and dusted, which is appropriate for this map.
Yeah, this was part of Operation Dustline.
Yeah.
It's a while ago. 800 shield Blackbeard.
I love those names. Grim Sky. It's so ominous.
They did show off some of the early stuff for first operator. So gonna get shield on defense.
Ooh, nice. Oh, the peek though on the burst. Traded back.
He'll get the kill. Renshiro, sit down.
Ooh.
You don't have an ACOG this time here, and the Bandit will go down early on. It's not the biggest of trades, but still, that's Bandit tricking now off the table, really, for Millenium, as Envy Taylor should have a much easier way of opening up the main wall here into the armory. Of course, Nelio is bringing the Thatcher to help.
This is, looking good. Now they don't have to do anything to deal with those, because with no Bandit tricking, that means they can just hit the batteries and be done with it, open the wall up, no big deal.
Hey, let's go bowling! And you just throw the MP in there, destroy them, easy.
No, it only temporarily disables the batteries now. That would be
not yet.
Not great. Rise, though, playing an aggressive dock here on this ACOG. Trying to chill out in the break room. He's going to get pushed here sooner or later, but the drone from Nelio might catch him first. If they can kind of figure out where everyone's at here and use some utility to kind of push them back a little bit, could work out for them.
I'll try to find the headshot, and no, it's Hetty. I'll connect with the SMG-12. Rise going down. An advantage for Element Mystic, and they take so little damage. Falco being called as we speak, and Hicks is going to get really tagged. Oh, no, the jump out here from the smoke to help things out. Livin is somehow still alive as he finally finishes off Hetty. That's Oni-chan to take down Hicks. Falco is still in the back of CCTV, just playing by the monitors, and Livin with 1 Falco for the refrag. 2v1, it is Livin is so low on health. He'll be able to at least shut down the call. Now he'll have to deny this. He's got 3 remote gas nades to play with, but he's afraid of the angles that Element Mystic will be holding. Nelio putting that diffuser down and trying to spray in here. Livin to down Nelio, but cannot find the angle against them. He can use those gas nades to his advantage, but he wants to force Sweet Black to peek into him. You see how the hold is being done from CCTV, as Livin, realizing that his options are fairly limited, he'll have to stick this one here. As Nelio taking damage from the gas, Livin will try to stick it again, but unfortunately, he doesn't really have much in the way of utility anymore. Nelio goes in for the final shot. I think at that point, there's not really much you can expect from Livin, but maybe, had he really just thrown in his 2 gas canisters, things would have gone a bit more his way, but still, Millenium lose the round. They're still on map point. Element Mystic put the second one on the board.
Definitely some aggressive plays that had worked for Millenium earlier, finally not working out as well that round. They were peaking a bit more than they needed to, considering how little droning was coming out from Element Mystic by comparison. They could have played their angles a little smarter, a little tighter, but they had some good trades. Had potential for that to work there. I felt like maybe Livin might have been able to pull it off. It was his hitting the gas canister too late to really stop the plant that put him in such a compromised position at that point. He could have even gone potentially for a flank around to the CCTV side, mostly because, well, they were expecting him on the other side. He'd thrown the gas and fired shots. Pretty obvious he was still there. I liked his idea of smoking and trying to defuse, but he didn't stick it because of the push there. Well, they were willing to sacrifice a little bit of health to push him on that, and, well, that's what they needed to do. Worked out well. But that's just 1 round more for Element Mystic. It's still on that match point. Maybe that timeout that Millenium called did help Element Mystic a little.
Yep, it very much might have. I mean, put Element Mystic back in the contender seat for at least map 1 in this best of 3 series. We'll remind you guys that the loser of this game goes home. Yeah, that's it. I mean, they're technically going to be here, but they'll go home.
Element Mystic has a much further journey, though, home than Millenium.
Oh, yeah. I think a simple train to Brussels is pretty easy to go to, but yeah, I think a flight from Paris to Seoul is
a bit of a journey. Yeah, definitely. You're going to be spending that whole time just watching the VODs.
Yeah, you're really fun, aren't you?
That's all I do is just watch VODs. That's my idea of a party. Hey guys, let's all get around and have a VOD watching party.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he's not lying. That is literally what he does. Well, it's funny that I'm the one saying that. This is
my Super Bowl.
It's funny that I'm the one saying that.
Yeah.
It's literally what I do every day as well. But whatever. That aside, let's back into this. Of course, it is yet again defense on the armory. We haven't seen enough of it, so
right. We've seen bathroom and vents once each, and that's it. Other than lockers.
That too.
So that's been fun.
Variety is the spice of life.
Fortunately, this is turning into a bit of a bland dish, guys. Either way, though, Element Mystic going to try it again, but that also means Millenium are going to try and shore up, I imagine, some of the things they did a little bit wrong last time. Maybe control that aggression a little bit more in terms of making sure that they don't overpeak, but they're also playing different positions. For example, the Doc is not in break room this time, which, of course, Hetty's definitely going to check. But he's going to smartly leave a drone for some overwatch here up on the fan. He's also going to get spotted. Oh,
what? What was that?
A highlight, that's for sure. Nicely done by Oni-chan.
From below.
Oni-chan doesn't get credit for it, though. Let's make sure he does.
The Jaeger killed himself with a breach charge.
Yeah.
Great.
Unfortunate for him. And that was a great play. And that's going to clear up CCTV for the most part. I think there is no one else playing in there. Yep. This is definitely a nice early take for them. 1:30 left to play with on there. They're going to steal off as much as they can to push in and take control of that room.
That's a position that Millenium used to their advantage in the previous round, and you saw Livin getting a couple kills off of it. However, this time it'll be denied as Millenium are mostly playing on the site. They don't want to get pushed here in the armory too easily. At least this time Renshiro is still alive, so it's a good thing it didn't peek early on. Bandit batteries will get taken down as Renshiro won't have enough time to run in for the pick on the Habana X Kairos. And I assume that he's just going to play from the half wall. No, he's going to fall back, trying to play from behind the A-bomb. Pretty strong position as well, but Oni has a couple things in mind, and he'll try to play off the armory window. And this definitely helps him out, cutting off rotations, as it'll ease the way for Element Mystic for a flank and a plant. But Hicks in the meantime gets one on Oni-chan, and that's the Ash taken away. Sweet Black with the refrag onto Renshiro, as Livin is holding the stairs with the shotgun. Element Mystic in the meantime are running in for a plant as Hicks finds the angle onto Sweet Black. MV Taylor still has the diffuser in hand, and there you go. Diffuser will get set. Hicks has taken a bit of damage, but no problem at all, as the Doc is in the building, and Rise will refresh the health of the castle. Unfortunately for Livin, he comes on in a bit too fast. Hicks gets taken down by MV Taylor, all up to Rise. Will the Habana peak against the Doc? Yes, she will, and Rise will actually net the kill. Last player is spotted in the back. He's trying to find the angle on the Dokkaebi. Hetty, last one in. Rise peeks in, but he's not expecting Hetty on the side. And the balcony will be where he goes down. That is Element Mystic with the third round on the board of Millenium. It's getting a bit toasty in here.
So far been just slightly attacker-sided. We've only had 2 defensive wins the entire map so far, so it's definitely looking like defense, definitely the one struggling. But it's a case where I think a lot of times they're just having trouble really retaining any kind of relevant map control. And then also, even when they lose it, the retakes are just not working most of the time. You see those situations where once they get that plant down, it seems to be pretty much over. I just can't see them pulling off these, and it's... I mean, you see the case there where they were able to get in very quickly. The defenders trying to just hold angles, which was the smart thing to do. The problem is they lost most of the angles they needed to actually deny it. Timing just wasn't there, for example, for Rise in terms of trying to catch them going for that plant. And I think he misread in terms of hoping they were behind that bomb going for the plant. You saw him tap firing, hoping to catch one through that smoke. But that was just smartly played by Element Mystic. They got the map control they needed, and they just immediately turned it into a plant.
We'll see how this round goes for Element Mystic, as little 6th pick to the Sludge, so that's Neilio playing him, and Livin will go for the Valkyrie. It's a signature operator for him in the past as well. It works out well. I think Millennium's understood that they're able to play against us off of information. Let's try to gather a bit more before we go in, and that's probably the reasoning here behind the Valkyrie pick, as of course that guys definitely do help.
And they're also going back to the one bomb site that they had won previously, which is Vents. Of course, they couldn't go back to it for those last 2 rounds, so they didn't have a choice until now on that. but they also could have played Bathroom Tellers, which we know they play well. And as we said, Castle's not banned, and he's part of that as well. So it is a bit surprising that they would try and push lockers twice rather than, bring in the Bathroom, which, well, it worked out for, almost worked out for Element Mystic previously. So it is a... We'll see if they can pull off ventilation again, though. This is, I think, a little bit better of a bomb site for them. But you never know. Castle is in play in this one, which is, of course, not unusual at all.
Yep. It's workshop defense. It helps you out quite a bit to have the castle. It just slows down the attackers for a bit. And really, most of the attackers have been bringing 2, even 3 hard breachers. Element Mystic are going for that mentality this time around, as we saw even Team Liquid that is famous for running both Ashe, Zofia, plus the Sledge as
Why not?
extra. Yeah, you get grenades, good up, and he's mostly used to smash things to bits.
Well, Element Mystic definitely going to have that utility. Maybe they can make it work here this time. Oni-chan hoping to get lucky again from a long angle, though, playing that ACOG. And looks like they're getting slowed down a little bit by rotating around to start to get things going here. But I'm not seeing necessarily a ton of the players droning. There's a little bit of droning going on. So hopefully that's going to lead something. But Sweet Black already getting taken down is not what they had in mind.
It's a big pick on the Zofia here. You lose quite a bit of utility here. C4 will come out. Unfortunately, it will not connect. Not even damage done to Element Mystic there in the back. But Falco finishes it all off. Neilio down with Hetty, running in and just clearing him out. That's a lot of damage done from Element Mystic, or to Element Mystic. And it's only the Bandit being lost on this site. It's no problem whatsoever. Rise, of course, has taken half damage, but Oni-chan still has the breaching rounds. The interesting part, look at where the Valkyrie's playing. On the east stairs and moving into the waiting room.
And it's a case where they have all the utility to take out these cameras in terms of the Evil Eyes, but it looked like he might have shot his own camera, as Dokkaebi might have hacked it earlier, which is unfortunate because you have the Evil Eyes and the Black Eyes that are now going to be used against you. In this case, though, they are taking out some of the Evil Eyes themselves on the attack side, so I guess that helps. I mean, it's hard because as a defender, you can't actually shoot your own Evil Eye without having him open it. So if Maestro dies, then you're left with the Evil Eyes. You can't even destroy yourself for the most part.
Oh, MV Taylor getting the kill on Rise, turned into a 3v3. Quite a bit of time left here on the round, and we know what Dokkaebi can do with just a quick call and a run-in with that, the SMG-12. Though Livin now using the C4 instead of using it to get a kill, he'll try to use it to open up an angle into the window as they're expecting a jump into the ventilation from Element Mystic for a plant. Hetty in the meantime will get one on Livin from above. Cheryl still on the side of the workshop here. Shots coming in the back from the Maestro as well to help in this as Renshiro will down one. That's Oni-chan, the Ashe on the floor. Hetty just going ham here with the SMG-12, and Renshiro will connect. No! Envy Taylor from the side comes in as he enters the door into the server room, finds the kill.
Well, speaking of finding things, finding their groove has definitely happened here for Element Mystic. They've gone 3 in a row now. We saw 4 in a row come out for Millenium at the start of this match. So seeing a bit of a mirror here coming out as we went 4 attack rounds in a row, 2 defense rounds in a row, and now 3 more attack rounds in a row. So I guess Vents, after all, not working out. Definitely looking like a potential overtime here as Element Mystic feeling good, playing well, especially some great plays from Hetty that round, and good follow-ups as well from NV Taylor. As I said, everyone's showing up for the team. It was unfortunate to lose Sweet Black early because that was a lot of utility off the board, but they still played with what they had left very well.
Interestingly enough, just a bit ago, this was a 5-1 in the hands of Millenium.
It certainly was. It's got to feel good to be back in this position now because it could go either way at this point on this round. It could go to overtime or it could go to map 2.
Yeah, and this is the thing. It seems like APAC taking a bit of time here to warm into their games, and once they are, kind of works out well. Though so far it goes to map 3, then it all goes downhill at the same time. We'll see if Element Mystic can gain the early lead here, at least by tying it and going to overtime, because that's the only way that they can return here in this round. Millenium will go for the exact same defense style that we saw from them before, as Hicks will open up the angle from CCTV just to hold into the fountain in the hallway.
Interesting to see, too, the 6th pick from Falco over to Mute. An operator I know, he's played very well in the past, and I know he knows how to play very well. But this is going to start to deny some of that intel that I was talking about. It was very effective. Now, of course, Element Mystic not only had drones last time, they also hacked the cameras, which was a bit of extra intel, forcing Livy to destroy one of his own black eyes even. And there's a case where they're just going to deny as much as possible with those mute jammers, which is going to, I suppose, turn the tables a little bit on this defense if they don't just play the exact same way they did last time, of course, because that would be a little too predictable and not as much necessary with the drones. But last time, most of the attacks seemed to come through jail. And we'll see if they go for that same attack again, because I got to imagine they're going to be thinking of a different approach that might not be as predictable the second time around.
And we already hear a wall being taken out, and I assume that is the wall from jail. And yes, it is. So Hetty just droning into customs, spot Falco. Falco this time playing the mute. So this is an operator that he's very well known for playing. I prefer mute over bandit on this site specifically, especially realizing that Element Mystic have been no slouches when it comes to their drone game.
Well, we'll see. They are able to get drones in, which is the important thing, and able to get them enough into the room to throw that grenade and not only force him out of position, but straight up kill Falco with that single nade. That's an important kill because now they have control of customs, so the droning can start to proceed from there to other rooms as long as they can make sure to secure that room, but they don't actually push in to secure it. That might be a little bit of a mistake because that is a big room to have control of to help you push potentially into the lobby, to push around to the bathrooms, to be able to get a lot more map control here, but they're actually going to start to set up for the ability to push it, and Renshiro punishes it.
Every single time it seems like Renshiro is ready for an angle, and there you go, Envy Taylor peering in as the sight of his teammate on the floor definitely makes him shiver. So Neilio in the customs as Oni-chan in the meantime on the Ash will get a kill on the Jaeger. Rise eliminated, no damage done to the Ash. Element Mystic with the player advantage, and they'll hack into the cameras. Now a lot of information to get relayed, especially as you mentioned, the Maestro.
Yeah, definitely taking advantage of that. I like that he's absolutely using that information because they had so much. That's how you turn the tables against them. In the case where the mute jammers were a little bit of a problem initially, but now they've got the advantage, not just on intel, but manpower, if they can use that smartly, because guess who can sit on that? Sweet Black. He can sit there, cycle through those cameras and tell them everything they need to know. And Oni-chan getting that information now.
Yeah, oh, have the turntables. And there you go, Livin with the C4, the jump out, taking down Envy Taylor. Livin at least trading it off, just as you mentioned it. Renshiro trying to play here the support of Hicks. He spots one, and there you go, he'll find the kill onto Neilio, but unfortunately, again, it's Millenium low on health. Though Oni-chan is on the floor, Hetty just runs in and gets the kill on Renshiro. And what is going on? Element Mystic ties it 5-5, and overtime will be called.
The excitement of that comeback from Element Mystic. I don't necessarily like to overuse the word woke up, but they certainly seem to have woken up on the side switch. So that is now 8 attack rounds. 4 from each team, 1 successful defense from each team. And not the greatest of defenses overall. It's not been a defensive map whatsoever. So whoever gets defense here, in this case, going to be Millenium, is now, in theory, in the worst position, but they're going to bring out the one bomb site we have yet to see, which is customs.
Yeah, this is it's not an easy site to play on, especially when there is no Mira available, but it does rely a lot on holding CCTV. Now, if Millenium position majority of their players in and around CCTV, then they might actually have a shot at this to take this defensive round, just as you mentioned. It's the attackers that are having a great old time.
A grand old time. You can see pretty even spreads between the two teams, as well as pretty much almost a mirror of the amount, if you just change the order a little bit, as everyone's kind of playing pretty similar from both teams, and that's what you'd expect from this 5-5 pretty much mirror match. I mean, it's a case where they won different defensive sites, but outside of that, it's not too different between these two teams. We'll see if they try anything tricky this round on defense. They're not going to go with the mute again to deny anything, which could be pretty useful on customs, but either way, they will try and control customs a different way, which is, of course, upstairs from CCTV.
All right, Rise here in the armored lockers, and just going to set up the final black eye. It's been Livin usually playing on the op here. Envy Taylor moving in with the drone, just chucking it over the vents. In the meantime, all cameras getting shot down. So just go through your standard checklist all of the default cams eliminated, at least as much of them as possible early on, and then set up for a push on the site. So here, you really need to hold the top side if you're the attacker.
He's got to be more careful about watching for that black eye, though, that was out last time. It turned into that C4 trade.
Fortunately for Oni-chan, nobody jumps out this time.
Yeah, they definitely have the possibility to do so. I mean, I suppose once the cameras are hacked, if that happens again, they'll have the ability to find that camera a little bit easier, but it's definitely been a problem for them, and it's something they've been doing, I think, probably every round that they've been bringing Valkyrie. Well, they are setting up for what looks like an offices take so far here, as well as archives. Could even go for a rush, potential plant onto archives. As they take in, I'm sorry, they can't plant archives. What am I saying? They would push into archives though, and be able to plant if they can take CCTV control, push in from passport.
Sweet Black using the concussive nades of the Sofia to his advantage. Damage done to Falco as the headshot misses from Sweet Black. As he's in the break room, try to contest, and you see the CCTV has pretty much been let go here by Millenium. Castle barricade will get blown up as Renshiro is looking for the angle against the Ash.
A bomb has been located.
And realizing that he's going to be playing against an ACOG might not be the wisest decision, really, to just peek directly against them. C4 utility being thrown from below. Nothing connecting on Oni-chan just yet.
Looking at that they've got this much map control, though, and Oni-chan's still alive. As I say that, though, Hetty getting dropped by Rise is definitely going to start to weaken things because we know how important that Dokkaebi was previously.
Yeah, well, we've seen how much damage Hetty's able to do. Rise, though, will get one again onto Sweet Black. Zofia and Dokkaebi taken down. Now there's Thatcher. There you go. He's now down. Livin nailing the kill on Nulio. Oni-chan jumping into the armory. Unfortunately, he'll get heard by Renshiro in the back, though. He'll get the kill. Low on health. Envy Taylor trying to contest here from Jail. It does not work out for him at all. Hicks get the kill. 4v1 Oni-chan all on his own. We might finally see this defense working out for Millenium. This will put them pretty far ahead unless Oni-chan can pull off a miracle. 4v1 with Hicks half health. Oni-chan with exactly 24.75. Livin finding the hit to clean him up, and it seems like the switch from Livin off of the Valkyrie definitely did work out, and just the multi-layer defense from Millenium working out well for them on a site that doesn't always bode well for defenders.
It was good to see, though, they didn't contest too early. A lot of the attackers, they made sure that they stayed a bit more back. They didn't give up too much map control. They gave up about half of it, though. They gave quite a bit over. But then they started to retake that control once they started getting kills. And once they had manpower advantage, they kind of rolled from there. Obviously, that was down to a few good plays, though. Some great kills, turning things around. Liven as well on that. But you could easily turn around here as well for Element Mystic, who are going to try lockers for the fifth time. So hopefully they figured something out from the previous times that's going to work.
All right, Sweet Black onto the alibi.
I don't know. I mean, it wasn't a terrible thing. It didn't lead to any wins, but it definitely helped occasionally. We'll see. We'll see. Absolutely could or could not help this round, depending on.
It absolutely could or could not help.
The Schrodinger's cat could be dead or alive here.
Schrodinger's alibi.
That's right. His story he told the police when they found the dead cat.
Oh my god. All right, we'll see the same exact lineup here being set up from Element Mystic as we saw them doing before. So reinforced wall in the fountain, at least one of them will be reinforced. They should be setting down the Prisma in the middle of fountain and reinforce the entirety of the wall on the side. They don't have a bandit, they don't have a mute, so they'll be playing all off of basically outgunning Millenium and using Alibi to outplay them in the mental game, though Renshiro might just throw bullets into them because he's playing Twitch again.
Yeah, I mean, that seemed to be working fairly well for him. I mean, obviously, you get the utility, which is going to clear up potentially some of those holograms.
Ah, there you go. The same position we see the holograms as before. There you go.
Slight adjustments. They are still setting up pretty late into the prep phase, though. So hopefully that was everything they needed to get done. They still have one hologram left. It's pretty common. You usually see a lot of Alibi players set up two and then keep one in the pocket just in case, which is a good strategy. They have at least some intel from these default cameras that can help along with the black eyes that have been set up. So they are doing a good job at least getting an idea where Millenium are going to be pushing.